and welcome to today's lesson. Today we're going to be doing exam type questions for Algebra 310. So if you're interested in that, I have a few examples for you guys, and then we can practice through them, and maybe you can learn a thing or two. And by the way, if you have questions or topic you want me to cover or go into depth with, please feel free to say something in the comment section, and just know that I'm here to help you guys. So without wasting any time, let's get started, right? So let's say for the first question, they say factorize. First of all, you need to take out the common variable between these two terms, which in this instance will be x, right? If you take out x, you'll be left with 4, and then you'll be also left with x squared, right? Now, what can we say about the terms that are in the bracket? They are squares, and what's in between them? That's a negative. So we have to determine the difference between two squares. And what do we know about the difference between two squares? What's the square root of 4? It's 2. What's the square root of x squared? It's x, right? So your final answer will be 2 minus x, 2 plus x. So this will be your final answer. And say x squared plus 15x minus 54. In this instance, what do you have to do here? You have to note that it is a trinomial. And if it's a trinomial, how do we attack this? First of all, you look for the factors of 54 such that the difference or the sum of them will give you 50. What are the factors of 54? The 54 by 1. Can those two give us 15? No. 27 by 2. Can that give us 15? No. We also have 18 and 3. Can that give us 15? Maybe. How can we get 15? So this is out, and this one is the one we are using. If you say plus 18 minus 3, it will give us negative 54 because it's a positive times a negative, but also it will give us 15 because it's 18 minus 3. So there's your answer. You're gonna say x squared 18x minus 3x minus 54, which will give you, then your final answer will be x plus 18 and x minus 3. Right? So let's go to our third question. Let's say here they give you y minus xy plus x minus 1. So here, which law are you going to apply? You're going to apply factorization by grouping, right? This means you're going to group these two, and then you're also going to group these two. And then how are you going to go about that exactly? What's the common factor between this and this? It is y. And then you are left with 1 minus x. Now, how can you manipulate this part of this equation such that you are left with a positive 1 and a negative x? You divide both terms by a negative. So you take out negative 1, right? If you take out negative 1, you're going to be left with an x that is negative, which can also be written as minus x. And then if you take out a negative 1 here, you're going to be left with a positive 1. Now you are left with y minus 1, and then from both of these terms, what's the common, what you call this, the common factor, 1 minus x, and that's your final answer, right? So that's all the questions when it comes to factorization. We can do more examples in the next session. But for now, I want us to move on to the next part of our questions. So sometimes you're not going to be asked to factorize, sometimes you're going to be asked to express fully or to expand. They will give you an equation that looks like this. So in this instance, what are you going to do? You're going to take this, then you're going to multiply it by every single variable in this equation. And then you're also going to take this one and multiply it by every single variable in this equation. You're going to add them all together to give you one equation, right? X to the power of 3, right? And then positive x times negative x is equals to negative x squared, right? Positive x times positive 3 equals to positive 3x. Now, positive 2 times, this is the first part of the equation, the green side. Now we're doing the blue side. Positive 2 times positive 2x equals positive 2x squared, right? Positive 2 times negative x equals negative 2x. A positive 2 times positive 3 equals a positive 6. 3 minus 2, what is it equals to? It's equals to 1. And then 6 is just 6. So that's your final answer, right? So here we have an interesting one. It's 5 over x plus 3 negative plus or minus, sorry, minus 3 over 2 minus x. Then you have to look for the lowest common denominator. In this instance, how do you look for the lowest common denominator? You have to multiply this by this, right? Multiply this by this, and then take the denominators and combine them, right? How will this look? You're going to expand this, it's going to give you 10, it's going to give you minus 5x, minus 3x, minus 9. Should we do it? I think we should. It's going to be 10, because it's positive, 5 times positive 2. Positive and negative is negative. 5 times x is close to 5x. And then negative 3 times positive x is equals to negative 3x. If you add the 2, it's going to give you negative 8x. And then this minus this as well, right? If you add these two, it's going to give you 1. And then you're going to say over, let's do one final example. It's 25 minus x multiplied by 15 to the power of x plus 1 over 3 to the power x by 5 to the power negative x. So if it's like this, right, what you have to do is use the laws of exponents. What does the law of exponents dictate in this instance? It dictates that you should separate all of these variables. How are you going to do that? You're going to say, what are the factors of, you're going to say, what are the factors of 25? It's 5 and 5. So is 5 squared. right? So you're going to say 5 squared to the power negative x by, what's the factors of 15? It's 3 and 5. So you're going to say 3, and then you're going to put the x and 1. So you're going to say 5, you're going to put x plus 1. Now, you also want to take these ones that are at the bottom and put it to the top. How are you going to do that? By putting negatives in front of this. So there's 3x, 3 to the power negative x, and then this 5 will be 5 to the power positive x. And then you're going to group what needs to be grouped. So rearrange this. It's going to be 5 to the power 2, negative 2x. And then it's going to be 5x. I'm going to take this 5x. I think it's easier if you group them together. So 5x by 5 to the power x plus 1. I'm going to say 3 x plus 1 by 3 negative x. Now, the laws of exponents say if you have the same base, then you add or multiply the powers. So what's 2x plus 1x is equals to minus 1. Plus 1 minus 1 plus 1 is 0, right? And then you're going to be left with 1, 5. Then 3x, right? 3 minus, x minus x is equals to 0 plus 1. Then you're left with 3. 5 by 3 is equals to 15. So your final answer is 15. So that's all for today's lesson. Like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section. If you want me to explain some of these concepts in detail, feel free to let me know. And I'll make sure that I prepare the lesson for you guys. But anyways, this is our first video for this channel. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll meet again soon. For now, cheers.